Good morning. Welcome to a morning review. This is Kim Watson speaking on Monday, the 7th of December. Okay, looking at the euro dollar first, and as you can see on Friday, we put in a relatively small candle, but a much more normal candle. However, it has formed a bearish harami pattern here into that 50 MA, so there is a potential for it to roll over some more. Got the weekly pivot below us on the 200, which may be a good target. Looking from a 60-minute point of view, we're just on the trend line at the moment now. Hasn't hit its daily pivot yet, but there is a possibility it could do so. May also find some support off the 50, but um, we'll see. But at the moment, to me, it's erring with sort of some lower highs and lower lows on this sort of hourly period, erring towards possibly the S1 and the weekly pivot. There's certainly a possibility there. So, cable. Okay, cable, same thing. Bearish Harami sort of pattern from a daily perspective. Weekly pivot below again. So again, similar picture. And well, we're just within a smidgen of hitting the daily pivot. There's no profit in it, but if it does catch a daily pivot, it may have caught it on a more wider, and it may catch it yet. Let's just move that line out of the way because it shouldn't really be there yet. It's running on to the current hourly, so that could easily just run into the daily pivot first. If it then breaks these lows here, I'd be looking for the S1. Now we have got the 50 MAs which are in the way on the hourlies below both the euro and the pound, and they could find support. And certainly on this first, with these prior lows here, we could find a bit of support of those. But alternatively, would then be looking at the S1 and the daily pivot. Any sort of rally to the upside and breaking through the daily pivot, well, then I'd be looking more towards the R1. There's certainly the potential it could do this. I believe it was oversold last week somewhat, but it's, let's say, got the potential for a bigger bounce from here, cable. Dollar yen, still within its relatively tight daily range. There's a possibility for it, obviously, always to shove out of this range at the moment. It's from a daily perspective. It's sort of had a little gap up by the looks of it on the dailies here, but I can't see it anywhere else. But again, we've got the weekly pivot above us, below us rather, and this could really paint a picture of we've got the weekly pivot and the daily pivot below us here, all nicely linked. Now we have been putting these series of higher lows in this shorter time frame and higher highs, so it's sort of going against the short-term trend that's running through here through Friday's price action. But overall, it's quite a choppy out market, so it did start breaking down. Well, as I say, there's good potential for that. However, a break to the upside would still give us the S1 within range of Thursday's highs. So it's certainly got the possibility for a move back even up to that sort of level, maybe beyond this. There are other highs at the intermediate mid if it starts moving. Okay, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar's much slower. Friday it went in, did double tops on the Friday and sold off quite well. It's got less of a pattern here at the moment. I mean, if you take Friday's candles, very indecisive candle with a sort of a doji, almost spinning top candle, which would suggest possible at least consolidation or rollover. And again, we've got the weekly pivot below us, so got a theme going on with these charts. At the moment, well, it's right across its daily pivot, and it's an each way bet at the moment because it could. If you look at the last few days, it's not holding on at these highs too easy. It went back in and tested them on Friday, not really holding on to the value here, and it may be easier for it just to give back some. And as I say, there is the weekly pivot below. It's and maybe even the S1. As target, so there's potential there for some downside. Canadian dollar, very choppy market. You can see from the dailies, the 4 hourlies. It's again, it's been sort of effectively the Canadian dollar's been sold against the US dollar, and it's pushing up again this morning. It could be pushing up some more and break out of this range that it's sat on for quite some time. But again, it's got the daily and weekly pivots below. There's the potential for it to come back towards these, even if it only comes back to the 60-20s. But there's certainly the potential of the daily pivot there. Just quick look at oil as we're looking at Canadian dollar, because the correlation's so tight. As you can see at the moment, oil's down quite. It's below that $40 barrel per barrel sort of sum again. In fact, this at the moment looks real bear flag sort of territory. However, with oil, it can just fly off all of a sudden and start moving quite quickly, and that might just, if this starts rallying, just bring that Canadian dollar, US dollar, or US dollar, Canadian dollar down rather. Okay, so there's the potential, and again, it's got its daily, weekly pivot above it, so it's completely inverted. So there's the possibility. News-wise today, there's not a lot. It's until 3 o'clock. We've got Carney speaking for the UK, but there's not significant news out this morning. I think the Bank of Japan governor may have already spoken, but Eurogroup meetings are being held all day today. That can always give some kickers, but bearing in mind they've just eased the policy over in Europe, it's probably not going to be too much surprise there. Now, Carney is testifying at 3 o'clock in front of the European Parliament Committee on Economic and Monetary Affairs, so maybe a bit muted to what it normally is when he's testifying in front of the UK government. Okay, so that's 3 o'clock. After that, there's very little news. In fact, this week it's relatively quiet after non-farm payrolls. We do get a bit of a kicker. We've got manufacturing production yet tomorrow for the UK, and a few other smaller numbers coming in. But the big thing is, as we're working through the next couple of weeks, is until the 16th when we got the decision by the Feds in terms of whether they're going to increase interest rates. Before that, of course, this Thursday 10th, we've got the Bank of England MPC meeting, and a decision expected at 12 o'clock. The decision is to leave everything alone, but we've still got that occurring at 12 o'clock. Okay, that's it for me. So possibly a quiet day today, we'll see, but certainly some targets to go for. Okay, bye for now.